So I'll just quickly give some context. Firstly, today is Earth Day, so there couldn't have been a better time for us to do this. And what this webinar is aiming to do in the next 30 minutes is that we will also be educating you and helping you understand the demand side of the energy ecosystem and how it can enable decarbonization in the truest sense, right? And how it can essentially be a game changer in the climate crisis and the energy crisis. We have Shweta with us, who will be taking us through how technologies can support us in this journey. And what you can take away from the next 30 minutes is that you will get some expert knowledge from Shweta, of course, some practical strategies of what you can really get into and implement instantly, and some exclusive resources that help you get started if you are like at point zero in your sustainability and if you just want to get started. Shweta, of course, can tell us how you can get started, right? So I will leave the floor to Shweta now and she can take the floor.
So thank you, Gayatri. Thank you so much. Am I audible? If you can confirm once.
Yes, Shweta, you're audible.
Yes, I saw some thumbs ups. Yes. All right. So, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you very much for joining us on the occasion of 55th Earth Day with the global theme of Our Power, Our Planet. Now, this is truly a day for all of us to, to recall, to reiterate how critical it is for all of us, for the companies, for the government, for the citizens to act, to innovate, and implement all the measures we can do to protect our environment. So let's start with a quick understanding why there is an urgency, right? And first of all, we will talk about like what is the most important challenge or the biggest environment crisis we are facing today, and all of us will agree that it is global warming, right? So to start with, I'm just going to give you a kind of some statistic which will help you understand why it is so important, why it is the right time now to take an action. Now, what you see on the screen is what we are currently emitting. So 57 gigaton of carbon dioxide emission today we have on our planet. So every year we do that. And if you see the trajectory, you would have realized that after industrial 2.0, second industrial revolution, it has gone on a very steep curve. So by end of this century, if we move on with the same kind of growth, we will have the temperature rise of 4 to 6 degrees Celsius, which is way more than the average rise of maybe 1.2 or maybe 1.3, which we had pre-industrial era. So this is very alarming. Now, to minimize this rapid increase in global warming, threshold of 1.5 degrees Celsius rise by end of the century is being agreed upon. It is scientifically calculated and agreed upon. So yeah, going back to 1.5-degree rise is being agreed upon. It is calculated scientifically, and all of us, we have agreed that we will do best possible, we will take best possible steps to ensure that the rise by end of the century do not cross 1.5 degrees Celsius. Now, this is also the derivative of most of the net zero targets we have around us, which is aimed to reduce the emission by over half by 2030 and net zero by 2050. Now, we are progressing really well with this target of 1.5 degrees, but we need to move much more faster. And when I say much more faster, we need to actually move 3x faster to ensure the temperature rise is in check of 1.5 degrees. So that's more about why there is an urgency. Now, can we move on to the next slide, Gayatri? Yes. Thank you. Now, to understand a little more better, let's look at let's look with a closer lens. What exactly is greenhouse gas emission? Now, if you see very closely, you will realize that it is a mix of 3, 4 very harmful gas. And if you see what is the main component of GHG emission, it is clearly by far carbon dioxide. So 74% of the total emission we have today is by carbon dioxide, which is around 42.3 gigaton emission only by carbon dioxide every year, right? So we all know the main culprit is carbon dioxide emission when we talk about global warming, right? So just 2 minutes over here. Okay. Now we saw the carbon dioxide is certainly the most important culprit. And interestingly, digging deeper, we realized that 80 or 81% of this carbon dioxide emission globally is the resultant of energy processes, which means 42.3 gigaton of carbon dioxide is the result of energy production and energy consumption. So the science is very, very clear now. To avoid the worst impact which we will see of the climate change, the carbon emission needs to be reduced by almost half by 2030 and reach net zero by 2050, like I said earlier. So now when we say net zero, what exactly it means? It means net zero, all the greenhouse gas emission, GHG emission, which is produced are actually counterbalanced by the equal amount of emissions that is eliminated. So that's what we call net zero emission. Now, there are two sides of coin to this energy, to this energy. Now, one side is, of course, your supply and one side is your demand. Now, supply is something which we have been talking about for quite many years, actually. We are talking about moving to greener sources of energy. We are talking about more and more renewable coming into the picture, more solar, more wind, which is replacing the conventional energy sources. Now, India itself is world's third largest renewable producer with, I think, our install base capacity is 46% of the total energy sources we have in India. Supply side, many things are happening. We are on track. Now, what about the demand side? And we truly feel the main challenge is on the demand side, and the problem is yet to be addressed efficiently. Now, if you see this demand side, like you see on the screen, the demand side is actually coming from three to four very energy intensive sectors. Number one, building, number two, industry, and transportation. This is global, but believe me, it is not too different for India also. It is almost, we are almost there, right? Now, to accelerate to become one of the largest economy by mid of this century, India will need much more infrastructure, many more industries, many more buildings, which clearly means we have more and more energy requirement, which also means we are going to face the challenge of more and more emissions, right? Now, the good news is that the technology exists. The technology which can address this demand side challenge and which can help us deliver 3x acceleration for the decarbonization. So with the growth, more energy, more emissions. But here comes the technology, right? Now, when we talk about the technology, we are talking about two major things over here. One is technology which will help us reduce emission. And how do we do it? By saving energy, by consuming less energy. Second thing, very important, which is on the demand side again, which is the processes. How can we electrify the processes? Because we truly feel electricity is the most greenest source of energy today we have. So the best technology is available, which will help us move faster on reducing the emissions. Now, this is what we call electricity 4.0. Now, we strongly believe that the fastest and the most efficient path to sustainable and resilient world is to bet on these two things. Now, electrical, like I said, most efficient form of energy and by far the best vector for decarbonization. Digital, we all will agree. We have all been on the digital platform and it is there in our day-to-day life, every minute, everywhere. So digital is there in energy space as well. So digital is making energy smart. It is making invisible visible, driving efficiencies and enable us to eliminate wherever there is a wastage. So when all the data is visible, it will help us for sure eliminate a lot of waste of energy and drive a lot of efficiencies which can be created in the system. Now, convergence of these two factors, digital and electrical, is electricity 4.0, which is delivering us more sustainable, more greener and smarter ecosystem. Now, Can we go to the next slide? Yes. Now, electricity 4.0. Now, we all would have heard about industry 4.0, right? So over last 250 years, the world has gone through like majorly four technology-driven revolutions, which has impacted the world of industry for sure, but it has also impacted energy landscape also in a big way. And Energy 4.0, like all of us know, it is more about smart machines. It is more about Internet of Things, open automation, connecting everything. Now, the new world of electricity, which we are now calling Electricity 4.0, is the convergence of digital and electrical, which is giving the complete new world of electricity now. So it's not only that technology is there to support us with the 3x acceleration. We are also seeing the government making commitment. Like if I have to talk about how many countries, have committed to net zero target, there are 74 countries which have already committed to the pledge. And this 74 countries put together, they themselves are making, India is one of them for sure. So we ourselves, we are making to around like 90% of the total global emissions, CO2 emissions. So government is making commitment. Coming to the corporates, even the corporates are making commitment. So when it started in 2018, we had just around like 215 companies which were committed to SBTIs, which is our science-based targets to achieve net zero. But today, if we see, we have more than 3,600 companies who are committed to the net zero targets. So certainly technology, commitment, both from the government and from the corporate. So which is a very, very good thing. Now, as we talk more about the technology, because we are into the technology space, we truly feel that at Schneider Electric, we have worked with 50% of the Fortune 500 companies already on their sustainability goal. And with this experience, we are able to bring the best technology in the space of specifically energy management and industrial automation. Now, when we talk about the supply and demand side, on the supply side, what we do the best, we are able to shape the grids of the future and hence connect the dot between the supply and demand. Now, one of the evolving technology I can think of now on the grid side is microgrid, right? Many of us would have heard about it. It is one technology that is allowing the facilities to operate even when there is a outage from the grid side. It is also integrating a lot of on-site renewables like wind, like solar, helping us to store the energy for the contingency scenarios. So microgrid is one of those evolving technology from the supply side. Now, talking about the demand side, which you see more on the screen, is more of the story of the demand side. We are shaping the homes, we are shaping the buildings, industries, infrastructure, and data centers. Now, we are bringing the world of automation with not only the softwares, but also the green premium smart products and solutions. We are also addressing the complete life cycle of the project from the design phase to build phase to operate and maintain phase. Gayatri, can we go to the next slide? Yes. So across the CapEx cycle and across the OpEx cycle, we have the technology which can help you become greener and decarbonize faster. So we truly feel the sustainability is not a matter of discussion only at the operations phase. No, it starts from the inception of any project, from any building, from any factory. It starts from the product level, how efficient or how sustainable, how much is the carbon footprint of each and every asset you have in your building. So it starts from the core, it starts from the product level. And that's where Schneider Electric has the edge. Now, as we talk about, the depth and the spread of the technology, which we have in Schneider, we talk about grid to plug when it comes to energy distribution. And when it comes to the automation industrial scenario, we are talking about shop floor to enterprise automation. We are there from agriculture to aerospace. We make from simple switches to open automation, which is connecting the smart buildings and the smart cities, creating the base for the smart cities. With this, Gayatri, can we move to the next slide? Yes. So with this, I would want to introduce a quick architecture because I strongly feel that this is an architecture where the whole ecosystem of Schneider Electric is based on, and this is proven, adapted by thousands and thousands of organization, and people are truly benefiting out of it. We call it eco-structure. Now, what is eco-structure? Very clearly, what you see on your screen, it is a three-layer architecture. We are talking about first, to become truly digitized, we need all your products, all your solutions to be communicable. So all the IoT enabled devices, which in true sense is going to digitalize your space. Then we have the edge control layer, which is more about all the software systems, which will give you the deep visibility insight of your systems and subsystems. So we are talking here about integrating various systems on a common platform where interoperability of different systems is possible. And then comes the analytics layer, which is apps, analytics, and services. In Schneider, we call it a advisory layer. Now, this is one layer where we have invested heavily in last few years, because this is where the AI gets into the picture, where ML gets into the picture, VR gets into the picture. This is the intelligence layer, and this is very specific to the multiple domain where we are currently present. The AI driven engines are actually giving you a deeper insight, not only insight, the actionable insight. It is exactly telling you to prevent a failure or to prevent anything which you do not want, which is not the most optimum scenario, what exactly you need to do today. So it is as simple as, typing, texting on your phone and the word pops up. The similar logic gets into the energy management space and benefiting the people, benefiting the organization in a big, big way. Now, this architecture is anonymous to every sector, every market segment we are currently playing in, primarily to the end markets of building, data center, industry, and infrastructure. We have a deep domain knowledge of these the domain knowledge and expertise into these domains. So ecostructure is something which can help the customers, which can help the corporates, and even the individuals across the life cycle of any project, of any building, even when it comes to, upgradation, modernization after operate and maintain phases of the project typically. So that's more about the ecostructure, and that's what I wanted to highlight on. And with this, I would like to say that we are actually decarbonizing every facet of our country. We are helping corporates and individuals to become more energy efficient and hence decarbonize much faster than they can. And then we are helping the people and the corporate to contribute to the bigger cause of global warming. And very proud to say that we are also walking the talk. We have been recognized repeatedly as world's most sustainable company by Times, by Corporate Knights, by Statista, and many other authorities. So please reach out to us. You can come down to our facilities to witness the technology innovations we have, the latest technologies and the latest innovations we have in the space of energy management and automation at our various state-of-art facilities. In fact, right now I'm connected from one of our innovation hubs in Bangalore, which is one of its kind. This is 7,000 square feet technology zone where we are demonstrating all the latest technology, all the AI-driven tools, all the VR machines, which is helping us digitize and automate the energy world. So most welcome to visit us over here. And truly, I feel that we are the first generation, who would know and understand what is climate challenges, what is the climate change, what are the challenges, what is global warming. And we are the first generation who would also know how we can combat it, how we can come over this challenge. So today, on the occasion of 55th Earth Day, I would say let's commit to make the best impact we can to combat the global warming and create much more, sustainable and digital world together. Yes. So, and before we close, before I end my part, I would also like to just introduce you to a campaign we have in Schneider, which is called Green Yoda. This is an initiative we are driving in the industry for quite for last few years, I would say, where we are helping every individual, whether they are an expert or they are just beginner in the space of sustainability. We are helping them, holding their hand, and 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 creating a kind of roadmap for them how they can become more sustainable today. So Green Yoda is one of the initiative for all of us to become more sustainable, more green, and contribute to the world of energy. So with that, I finish my part.